Yeah, I feel like in the last 30 days, I mean, we've always been really, really good at saying no to opportunities, but in the last 30 days, I feel like I've had to say no more than ever in my life before. I feel like the last year kind of just taught me to set boundaries within not only my personal life, but also my business life, and just saying no to a lot of opportunities. When you say no, it almost shows people that you know what you want, you know what your boundaries are, and you're not gonna move, and you're not gonna change your morals or your values just for money. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 1% Better Every Day podcast. What?
Why you stop?
My name is Jasmine.
My name is Matthew Cole.
And today we are going to be talking about, first we're going to catch up. How was your week and all that stuff. And then we're going to be talking about just some challenges. And then we're going to talk about just listening to your gut in business. I think that's really important. What do you think?
Again, guys, coming to you every single week. Brand new episodes on YouTube, available on all three channels. But what did you say?
Yeah, so let's start with, how was your week?
Oh, week was cool. Week was like just figuring out what your next steps is, especially since we at the end of the month. We at the end of September. We only got a couple of days left of September, so just trying to figure out the next 3 months and like what do you envision for yourself. So it's been pretty good.
What was the highlight of your week, and then what is something that didn't go well that you would change?
Highlight of my week would be just being alive, being able to get my bills paid and still have money in my bank account, and just as much freedom as I've gained in the past 30 days. Like that's my biggest accomplishment. And I say nothing. I can't think of anything that really didn't go my way this week.
Yeah.
Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month.
Yeah, my week was really interesting. It was good though. It just kind of goes to show that sometimes you just have to ride the waves of entrepreneurship, but it was a really, really good week. Something that I would change is honestly, I've always had a pretty good routine. I think I've just gotten better and more disciplined at it. And something I would just change is just being more conscious with my time, because I feel like now that I am a freelancer, I've always been an entrepreneur, but right now that I'm working with multiple clients and several clients, I would just say, getting better at time management. So that's something that I could get better at. But we wanted to bring up the topic of like listening to your gut, because we've been going through just some interesting days in entrepreneurship lately. And so something that we had a conversation about this week is, when you start making more money, does it trump your morals, or have you always been that person? Do you think people change because of money, or do you think that people are just always like that?
I think people are always just like that. I think more importantly, money just exemplifies the type of character you are, because if you care about money in the aspect of like wanting to do whatever you want with the amount of money that you make, you kind of just like really don't care. You're just doing it just to make the money so you can fulfill all those dreams that you want to do. But if you don't really care about the money, then you'll be satisfied more with the actions that you're doing rather than what you're receiving.
Yeah. Well, this week, like I even got the biggest opportunity in terms of revenue. Like it was one of my biggest clients, or just opportunities to make almost 100K a year. And I talked to obviously Matt about it, and I was like, I feel like in another world, or not really, because I feel like a past version of myself would have said yes, but even thinking about it now, I'm like, no, I don't think I would have, because I've always been like that, where, we've always been like that. Like we always choose the passion first over money, because it's not really about money. I mean, you can make money, but just something that I've learned in entrepreneurship in the last year is that making money really isn't that cracked up, what it's really cracked up to be, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
Just because, you can make a lot of money and you can still be unhappy. You can make a lot of money and still just not be a good person, or just not be happy, or just not be satisfied. And I think that when you start doing things just for the money, it starts tugging at your soul or your personality, and then it just changes you, and you just become this person that you can't even stand.
You think money changes you?
I think it changes some people.
Yeah.
I think for sure it changes some people, or maybe it just exposes their true colors. But I just feel like when people start taking things for the money and opportunities, they kind of fall into that trap or that chain of, well, what's the next hit? And it's almost like it changes them, and they become angry, and then they just become this person that's like, it's just not, I feel like they're not happy with themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, story time. So I got this guy that I know that has went to a company that he's always really wanted to work for, and he did it obviously because of the money. And then once you in the company and you don't like how certain things are running, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm just here to get a paycheck. But then eventually you get so much resentment build up from things not going your way just because you're getting a paycheck. Then you hop over to the next company because you want to make some more money. It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah, it's just a never-ending cycle. But yeah, I feel like in the last 30 days, I mean, we've always been really, really good at saying no to opportunities, but in the last 30 days, I feel like I've had to say no more than ever in my life before. And I feel like the last year kind of just taught me to set boundaries within not only my personal life, but also my business life. And just saying no to a lot of opportunities, because I realized I used to never understand why business people used to say like, oh, saying no actually brings you more opportunities, but it really does. Because when you say no, it almost shows people that you know what you want, you know what your boundaries are, and you're not going to move, and you're not going to, change your morals or your values just for money.
Yeah, people lose their happiness real quick, and then that's when you start to hate your life. Like, make sure you retain whatever happiness that you have, as far as because I honestly, the more and more I think about this, I feel as if we were all put on this earth to be creative in some shape, form, or fashion, especially with helping people out. And with that being said, if you're not fulfilling yourself within that creativeness that was brought upon you when you became here, you not being fulfilled, and once you're not being fulfilled, you're not happy. And then you take that unhappiness and that energy out to the world.
Yeah. And well, we did get new chairs, by the way, you guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we got these green velvet chairs. I got them off Amazon, so I'll link them down below. But we also want to hear your thoughts.
Time out. What made you get? So, guys, if you've seen the progression, we started off on the white couch back at the Cincinnati crib.
Yeah.
And then we went to the chairs, or we tried the stools. We tried the stools in one episode, but I don't even know if you can tell.
Well, we tried the computer chairs, and then that didn't work. So now we kind of changed the setup to more of like this like green, because it screams like money to me. So it's like this like green money.
We're constantly changing.
Yeah, like, but also like black professional look, because I feel like black and green just are really good colors. So those are kind of our colors for the podcast. But you guys can see we're always kind of changing it up and making it better. So we would love to hear feedback or just comments from you guys. But I don't know what made me think of that. I just wanted to point that out. But anyways, we want to hear your thoughts down below. Like, and let us know down below, do you think that money actually changes people, or do you think it just exposes people's true colors? Let us know down in the comments.
I like that. What else is on your agenda that you want to talk about? Do you know? Or no?
No.
Let's talk about the what we're looking for in 2025, because we only got 3 months left. Literally 90 days.
Yeah.
And then the end of the year is going to be here.
Well, this is something that we always do.
5-year anniversary. We definitely going down to Mexico again, because Mexico is like a once a quarter trip. Like, we literally just got back. How many times did we go to Mexico this year? I've been to Mexico three or four times this year.
3 to 4 times.
You've been here, and you've been to Mexico.
I've already been there 3 times.
3 times this year.
December, technically that was New Year. Over the summer. And then just recently.
Yeah, we just recently got back from Rocky
So
Point.
3 times, yeah.
That's like now that we've been in Arizona for 2 years, that's like a must. Like, I have to go to the beach or to Mexico once a quarter.
Yeah.
Matt, I need your help growing my social media audience.
All right, guys, if you need help growing your social media audience, make sure you text 602-390-7002. Once again, it's 602-390-7002.
But yeah, going back to planning our goals, like you guys know since the beginning, that's something we've always done is like every 3 months or every quarter, we always look at our goals and kind of plan them out again. I feel like in the beginning, that was something that we dramatically changed. At least I changed. Like we used to do 1 year goals and we still do. But now I feel like we kind of transitioned into doing 3 month goals because it just works so much better. And something that even I have learned within business is that speed is everything. So the more that you can get faster at seeing like, you know, what are your holes? What are you not achieving? Like, what are you not good at? Like, where can you pivot? Where can you change things? Or where can you transition things? Speed is everything. And the faster that you're able to, you know, just change things or go through that transformation or just be accountable with what you need to work on, I think the more that you're able to just get better in life and attract success. But
yeah, and it's taking action on those things that you want to get done, the stuff that you want to accomplish. Because once you start taking action and faster action on those things that you want to accomplish, whether you fail or succeed, you gain confidence and you also gain the task that you've been doing for 20 years eventually only takes less and less time doing it because you keep doing it over and over again.
confidence comes from competence. And I feel like that was one huge thing that I learned this year is that the more you practice something over and over again, the more you get better. And I think I was just watching a video today, but entrepreneurship is boring. Like entrepreneurship can be boring.
Not.
It can be boring sometimes because to some people,
like
at least like we have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
But
if you treat it as if you were bored, then you were going to get smoked by the people like us that love it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You're going to get smoked.
But it can be boring sometimes when it comes to like the repetitive or tedious tasks. And
fall in love with those tasks.
you have to fall in love with the journey.
Yeah.
That's just what I've learned. Because
Fall
at the
in love
beginning, I feel like now it's just more and more fun every day. But at the beginning, I remember like having to do the same things every day. And it can become a little bit frustrating when maybe when you're not seeing the results or maybe when you're not being patient and you're not seeing what you would like to see. But then once you're patient and you start to see all these opportunities come your way, it just pays off and you have to be patient.
Yeah. And be patient and be assertive as well. Because if you're like being patient, kind of like waiting on stuff to happen, like nothing is going.
Yeah.
You got to start smacking people in the face. Like, that's what you got to do.
You have to stop trying to make everything perfect. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because we just recorded some content with a friend yesterday and she was like trying to make everything perfect. And we told her, you know, a lot of times in entrepreneurship, I think what holds people back so much is that everybody's trying to make this perfect or everybody's trying to achieve this level of perfection. Or they're like, oh, well, I'm not ready yet or I'm not there yet. Or, you know, and it goes back to speed. Like you have to almost let go of those expectations and just try something and just see if it works. If it doesn't, you fail and then you try again. But the more that you can just execute and actually do stuff instead of procrastinating about it, the more it's only going to help you get better in life.
Yeah, because you're holding yourself back by telling yourself that you can't do that. That's why I don't really like to say can't. Can't is not in my vocabulary. I don't know what that word is. It's like a cuss word to me. Mm-mm. Like when people say can't around me, I'll be like, stop it.
Yeah, but you've always been like that. I remember when we first started dating, like you would always say that, like, stop saying can't, stop saying that.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy. I've never not been about mindset. And then when it's just like the more and more that I've learned since we've been in Arizona, the more and more I realize like, oh, I've always been doing this, but I just didn't never realize it. But it's like, who the fuck taught me this shit? Nobody. That's crazy. Nobody. I don't think I've ever read like a self-help book. I never. Remember, you've been with me for 5 years. I never like listened to like.
Well, you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a really good book.
Well, even then, before we got together, I never really like. I read books, but it was more like Harry Potter stuff. Never really watched like motivational videos. I never like read any inspirational quotes, so I have no idea where I got this mindset from at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
No idea.
But going back to our podcast really quick, I don't know what made me think of it, and it's just going back to like not trying to overcomplicate things and making things perfect. I mean, you
100%.
guys can see, we're getting better with our episodes every single time. Like, we just recorded a Cooking With Us
Yep.
a podcast. I can't wait until that comes out.
Is that our first cooking one?
Yeah, I think that's our first cooking podcast, but let us know down below in the comments, like, what videos would you like to see next? What topics would you like us to cover next? What questions do you guys have, so that way we can come on here and answer and have more interactive conversations with you guys. But we're getting better in every podcast, and that was something that you even kind of noticed this week when you did your first webinar. You were like, oh, I got to get better at this, and you just got to practice, because once you practice, you realize like, oh, maybe I need to get better in this area, or maybe I need to get better in this area.
Yeah, just simple. Just keep doing it. Like, especially if you really, really want to achieve that goal, just keep doing it. Just over and over.
And I think maybe our next podcast should be on what it really takes to start a podcast and keep a podcast going. Because I think when we first started, we were like, oh, we were just going to get on camera and talk about business things. But once we're on camera, like, you need a structure, and you need, to have
at least a direction.
Yeah, you need to have some kind of direction, so that way your podcast can keep growing, and then people can keep listening and tuning in. Yeah. But to end it off really quick, how did you think your first webinar went this week?
I sucked at it, but I understood why I sucked at it and why I wanted to improve. Because it was for better customer experience and for them to actually learn something. And 2 is because I want to grow my community as well, like providing free value and actually helping people with their problems and their solutions, but actually effectively doing it through a webinar is next level. So it's just getting better.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was your webinar about?
The webinar was about content creation for beginners, for first timers, that people that have something up here that's like mentally blocking them for actually posting stuff on there. So we're absolutely building a community of guys who want to start but just don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys want the replay, where can they text you? Or
make sure you guys text content to 602-390-7002. Again, guys, text content to 602-390-7002.
Yeah. And to end it off, I think we want to, now that I'm thinking about it, we want to start, at least I want to start a segment on, just things that are going on in the world, mm-hmm. or in the news. Mm-hmm. And I think we should definitely touch base on it. But if you guys saw the news, everything has been unfolding with Diddy. But what do you think about people that, everything comes to light, but what do you think about like people that try to show this face and then later it all just unfolds?
A lot of that stuff just don't even be our business, honestly. Mm-hmm. And the problem with society is that we hold people to such a high standard and a high pedestal, and they just normal people like us. That's what it really boiled down to. They just regular people.
Yeah, but I don't think regular people do all the things he was doing.
How do we know that, though? We don't really know these people. Like, majority of the people in the world, we really don't know them. Yeah. Like, and people could be doing anything, and that's the problem. Like, we just don't mind our business. That's it. Because technically.
But also, don't make excuses for people.
I don't know them. I don't know those people. Like, I can't put an opinion on anything that doesn't involve any personal actions by me.
True.
Because, like, all of us is going to have opinions about what should have been done, what shouldn't have been done, what was wrong, what was right, what was legal, what was illegal, but
we don't know the full story.
We don't know the full story. Yeah. None of us is getting paid to know the full story. I don't personally have contact with any of these people, so.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and end it off there. Also, prayers to everyone on the East Coast, because I'm sorry about that, you guys. I got like a little virus, and like it's still kind of there if you guys can hear it. But prayers to the East Coast, because everything has been going on with the hurricane in Florida, and I think now it's moving up to Ohio, because my mom literally just told me that my aunt, just her power went out. But prayers to everyone, and then we'll be back in the next episode. And I think that next episode we're just going to talk about what it really takes to start a podcast, so that way we can get into the specifics and behind the scenes, and we can walk you guys through equipment, structure, and all those behind the scenes on that. But
yeah. Good idea.
Yeah. Well, that was it for today's podcast. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to link.
Oh, sorry. My name is Matthew Cullen.
I'm going to link down below where you guys can find us. And again, leave your comments, leave your opinions, and leave your questions down below because we want to hear from you. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget to get 1% better every day.